Greetings and a good evening. We took part in the Badnormals Road to Infinity challenge. These are our submissions, and today we will go over how we made them. This is Barry.
And I am Klaus. Welcome to the atarangi. Now let's get into it.
We made 2 renders. I made mine solo, but Barry's render, well, I helped him a bit with coaching. Barry, tell them about it.
So I wanted to make a drifting scene on a curved road. Initially I wanted to do this in our The Room project. But this challenge gave me a reason to work on this. So I inserted the island from the project and scaled it down because it was massive. To get proper composition, I moved around stuff from the camera perspective, and once I had laid out my scene, the road was just a white plane, and since I don't like white stuff, I pulled a Medusa to make it look better. At this point I had a rough scene and a terrible car I made earlier. I mean, look at it, even the decimated version looks better. So I went out and made a new car, and I kinda liked the look of our buffer.
No, management is not taking pre-orders yet.
And that works out great, because I needed a few cars for a future project anyways. After that, Barry started on the animation. We took a few different routes to get where we wanted to be. We tried using geometry nodes, but we ended up just sliding the car along a curve and adding some noise for those bumpy vibes. And now that the scene is completely roughed out, we can get to the details.
First order of business was to not have the car just slide. I mean, check this out. Don't mind those squares on the trees, that's just normals. So, I animated the wheels and then proceeded to render a short section like 10 times to make sure that the wheel speed looked good. Then I needed to add steering. I also wanted to add some stylish anime vibes, so Klaus recommended I use grease pencil to add outlines.
We strongly recommend baking these to avoid stuff like this.
Now at this point I was still using the old leaves that look like this. But my PC wasn't really vibing with that plus the anime outlines, so I had to look for a solution. Klaus told me he had something that would work, and so now we have 2D cotton candy clouds as leaves.
It's a cloud asset by Christophe de Dene. Also, at some point we shaved the island because Barry has a pollen allergy.
Yeah, thanks for helping me not die, Klaus. I also added a sphere in the sky.
Which is now.
And added some light sources to mimic a moon. The scene was too dark otherwise. To finish things off, I added a campfire, which allowed me to steal the particles for the car's tire smoke as well. The fuel for the fire was just random assets from our library we created, so thanks Klaus for prepping that.
No problem. Also, the fire is from a Joey Cralino tutorial. I will keep saying this man's name incorrectly, and you can't do anything to change it.
The final thing that was giving me a headache was the damn end portal. So I added a shrine gate around it to make it blender a bit better. I learned a lot while working on this project, so I then proceeded to not use Blender for like 2 weeks, and then I remembered Klaus still needs some more cars, so I made this.
Alright. Done, Barry?
Yeah.
Good. Now let's move into my sky zone. I did not know what I wanted to do, so I just kind of followed the flow. I started off with this animated sky texture. Here are the notes for that and some relevant tutorials. Then I added this pathway here using a generator by... That's a long name, put it on the screen.
Casper Anklet Franson.
I used this material. I also added these pillars using Blender's built-in wall generator. When I started this, we recently watched Your Name, so I added a comet, obviously. Now what am I supposed to do with that? Add a tail. It's inspired by this tutorial from Sketches for Humanity. Now add some sparklies to it as well. These sparklies were done with a particle system and then made star shape in the compositor with the glare node. Then I added the wispies you see in the video. They are from a tutorial by, let's give it a shot, Graham Wiebe. He's a weeb apparently in the way I pronounce it.
Are you sure it's Weeby and not Wise?
What?
If it's a B with a stripe coming out of the bottom, it's a double S.
I think I copy-pasted the text, so it shouldn't be. But anyways, to get some more movement was the reason for adding those. And finally, I added the cloud floor. That's done by having the volume take up the shape of some weird icospheres I made. And then I made the clouds move by adding a modifier to that. Here's a screenshot to make that more clear, I guess, because I didn't explain it very well. Well, I could have done something with the portal at the end, but I got lazy, so I didn't. But here's what that would have looked like. Barry, anything to add?
This is a simple mining mission.
And we'll mine you next time.
And that works great, because I needed a few cars for my future project anyway, so.
Why are we like fake Italian now?
Library!
We tried using geometry nodes, but we ended